good evening, good morning, good night, you lovelies. It is the one, the only CAPY D Bar, and we're here to discuss some things, all right? Some music-related things, maybe some Canadian-related things, who knows, all right? I hope all of you are having a great one, however you catch this, whenever you catch this. Now, I think all of you may know of a little underground, unknown public domain by the name of Fallout. Fallout, the role-playing action game, which allows you to, make either the best or the worst choices in the entirety of the wasteland. Now, you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with anything Canadian? Well, I'll tell you. Walking the streets of New Vegas, you will hear one phrase multiple times.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
And that is what we will be discussing. We will be discussing Iceman, the nuclear winter. You see, Drake has released a project. Drizzy Drake. He actually released Iceman. I didn't think he had the nuts to do it, but he did. Big fairs to you, Maple Man. The Maple Leaf known as Aubrey Graham, besides the lawsuits and besides the 100 gigs and everything else that he's put out, he's stepped back into the limelight, right? I do want to say that Iceman, it did release about a month ago. Sorry about that, chat. Sorry about that. I didn't expect for life to take the turn that it did when Iceman released, but everything happens for a reason. I can say one thing very clearly and very very honestly. There's only about 4 good songs on all 3 of these albums. I listened to them. Maid of Honor. We're gonna get there. Classic off of Habbiti. Pretty good. Classic off of Habbiti was actually a pretty solid song. There's another song on there I think I'm missing. The intro to Iceman was good. It was good, very vulnerable. It had some moments of just self-reflection. 40 telling this nigga that needs to grow the fuck up. It's good, reflects everything that Kendrick was saying. Hey, we love to see him taking at least a small shade of accountability, despite it being, completely sidestepped for the rest of the project. And Little Birdie is actually very catchy, has a good beat, and it's getting widely accepted by the by the inner circles that I frequent. So what can I say? You can call that a little bit of a little bit of contagious rhythm from Little Birdie. There's one more song I'm definitely skipping, but it's fine. I'll probably put it in post or something. Now, we have to discuss this. Why 3 albums? And I call this the nuclear winter because after, right, the massive war that was that beef in 2024, when the bombs started dropping, meet the Grams, watch the party die, niggas was over here fiddling with AI and corpses. It was a very, very crazy fucking year that we had to deal with 2024. Not even counting Trump. Lord have mercy. Well, I don't know why I just pissed myself off thinking about that again. He dropped these 3 albums as a recovery, right? The point of Iceman is that this is now the nuclear winter, right? The ashes from the fallout has blocked out the sun, and now we are just in a suspended ice period. And not so much like us, like me and you, but him. He is suspended in ice. He is suspended in this nuclear winter. This, this concurrent, this concurrent concussing force of not only, trolls, but anticipation, right? By, everything that he has to deal with in the music industry, because, for everything said, Drake is still a part of the music industry. He's not starting his own label, right? But that leads into this contract conversation. Why, after that nuclear impact of Not Like Us, of Euphoria, why does he need 3 albums? What is the actual reason here? Now, some people are assuming that it's contract bias. Like some are assuming that it's based on contracts. That basically, everything that Drake is doing right now is just to get out of his deal with UMG. But I refute that. I refute that staunchly, because if you listen to one of these songs with 21 Savage, it's B's on the table. Okay, so let's pause for a second. A B is on the table. A B, right? So if a B is on the table, why the fuck would anyone think that you're not thinking of resigning? Also, you seem like you're kind of reveling in the fact of you getting $1 billion from these people who try to tear down your legacy. So which one is it, Drake? Is it Uchiwali or is it one Mike? We're gonna get to Jay-Z. We are going to get to Jay-Z in due time. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what Drake's motives are. I think they're not being any Lil Wayne, no Nicki. That's telling. No Tyga. That's telling. You ask Birdman what he thinks about, the contract situation. Drake and Birdman haven't been in the same building since 2009. Only words out this nigga Birdman's mouth is, we are forever in the business of Drake. We are forever in the business with Drake. And then mind you, his man's is like, he's trying to play it off. I thought it was getting too serious, but he's like nervously trying to, all right, come on, Bird, come on, baby, man. So let's move off this, baby. And he keeps saying it. The interview was trying to move on. Birdman, it's like, there's something very, I don't want to say dark. There's I don't know if it's a deeper, darker secret. There's something there with Young Money, Cash Money, and now bleeding into Wayne, Nicki, and Drake's solo careers. Because I doubt this is the case. I doubt this is the case. The last time that they were on a song together was with that Remy Ma diss. That was about 2017. Drake has been out of this Drake has been out of that Cash Money deal since what? Well, 2015, since nothing with it. Since you're reading this is too late, right? So that's a good 2015 or so. Is it a clause that if these niggas are on the same record together, it has to go to Birdman? Or because listen, there's no Wayne on this album. There's no Wayne. I forget who the fuck it was. Somebody produced Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh, I think, is on. No, I think Manny Fresh is on Lil Wayne's album. I don't think he's on. Is Manny Fresh on this Drake album? There are so many integral pieces to that Cash Money crew that genuinely could benefit Drake right now. Again, showing that he's not as walled off as niggas think that he is. He's not as isolated as niggas claim him to be. But then it's like, okay, so what's going on with your contract? Are you opening up an OVO sound? Is that what we're getting? Are we gonna get, the brightest and best young stars from Toronto on this label? And Drake's just gonna be the head of, the emotionally regulated, mentally mature Drake, who definitely doesn't talk about, the escorts that he fucks in Albania every single time he can on any song he can. I don't think this nigga Drake has the temperament to be the fucking president of any music label. Nonetheless, have the financial control of any young woman in the Toronto area. No. Fuck no. Listen, shout out to Molly Santana, probably one of the better performers on this, consortium of albums. She's apparently from Toronto. I don't want that nigga Drake an inch closer to Molly Santana. You put her next to Rico. Hey, fucking fly her down south, get her next to Black. I don't know. I need this nigga at 2 arms length. I need this nigga at Wembenyama's arms length away from Molly Santana. Very talented, very young, and I think that she's probably, again, with the right tutelage, could do some big shit. It's very, very good. She makes her stake on this album. But there's nothing else really impressive, not only in terms of features. And he says y'all expected some big features. But even in that, Future's on this album. That is a big feature. Future, the nigga who incited DEFCON 1. The reason that we are now sitting in the ruins of this radioactive landscape is because Future greenlit like that. So now, why in the nuclear aftermath, and again, this is all just kind of like me, putting, this is all just me kind of putting imagery together, right? You don't have to be too literal about this. But in this nuclear winter that everyone is now sitting in after that exchange between Drake and Kendrick, why does the nigga who encouraged Brody to push the button think he just gets a spot on the album? You don't think that's a big feature, Aubrey? That is a big feature. That honestly, it's, bro, this fucking nigga Nevada's, bro. This nigga fucking Nevada's.
What? Nevadius?
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I don't fuck with you, bro. I don't fuck with you. You be talking too much shit about me on Twitter, bro.
Nevadius?
Okay, we're gonna have to get to that nigga when we can. Listen, the first week sales, right? First week sales, you see, and this is why 3 albums never help anybody. If you want to do a correct assessment of these sales, you have to split the number into 3. There's no other way to do it. If you ask any fucking search engine, right? You ask Bing, all right, ask fucking Firefox, ask any search engine you want. It will tell you when combining the 3 albums, you get about 740, 780, 760. But if I divide that by 3, it's only about what, 250, 245 a pop? Now I gotta look at this shit. Damn, Iceman, Drake only did 245? Because listen, my nigga, listen, Habbiti, it was barely decent. That shit was like a 4 out of 10. All right, it was like right, maybe like 5 out of 10 if I want to be courteous. You know what? Like it wasn't all that, but there's been worse Drake projects. That wasn't expected and wasn't needed, to be honest to all of you. Maid of Honor, we're going to be discussing Maid of Honor. I promise you, we all are in detail, in great detail. That wasn't really expected. All niggas wanted to hear was Iceman. The only effort he seemed really, like all the effort he seemed like he had really only went into Iceman. So why the fuck am I supposed to sit here and count Habbiti's numbers? Nigga, why? I don't care about Habbiti. I don't care about Maid of Honor. You released him. Whoop-dee. Good for you, my nigga. Hey, if Kendrick dropped a folk album tomorrow, I probably wouldn't be the first guy in line. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? It's not what we wanted. It's not what anyone was really looking to calculate. So now when we do look at the calculations on a numbers by numbers basis, Iceman only pushed about, if I really want to be generous, a cool 260, 270. Come on, my nigga. Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie. That's not good. That is not good, and that changes if it's just Iceman. But then again, you have to circle back around into Young Money and Cash Money. What the fuck is going on with these contracts? On one hand, on this album, he says, I gotta get out this contract, baby. These niggas think I'm a joke. These niggas think I'm sweet. I flash backwards 5 or so years. He's talking about the exact same shit. I need a piece of the pie if we're gonna be talking all this ownership shit. And then you make a song with 21 Savage called Bees on the Table. Wow, all of this is encompassing a plan to release 3 albums in tandem with one another to get out of this said contract. I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Maybe for the sake of Drake's argument, he's meaning he'll get his own B. Hey, and for any Aubrey, owl stands in the comments that are going to try to harp on this, all right, let me give you a little bit of piece of advice. I've already brushed my teeth, I've washed my face, and I've said hello to my girlfriend this morning, all right? So there's not a lot, there's not a lot that you can really try to say about like touching grass or anything like that. These are just facts of the matter. Drake should have released a solo album. Those numbers would have hit. Hey, easy 600K. I thought when I said 450, I was losing my mind. This nigga didn't even crack 450 on Iceman. And then again, you look at it by a numbers basis. You have to divide whatever number you get by 3. There's 3 albums. This wasn't a smart move. This wasn't a smart move. Again, everything with Wayne, just not. It doesn't help. Again, Wayne isn't at the fucking peak of his peaks anymore. But I think a Wayne feature on Drake's album would at least move a good 100K. A good 100K. There's some niggas in fucking Baton Rouge who haven't heard from Wayne since the Carter 6. Haven't heard from that nigga. They would have loved the Drake feature. I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna talk about Habbiti. We're just gonna crack this shit open as easy as we can. Now, my biggest gripe, I think, with Habbiti is it's very not directionless. Isn't the word? It is an album without a country, and I mean this. I mean this kind of literally, right? There is this Middle Eastern, North African kind of vibe he's going for. Very traveled, very worldly man, that Aubrey, so I'm not, it's whatever. I think my biggest critique is just what exactly is he going for? Because the Middle East is very diverse, it's very vast. There's a lot of things that people would like consider the Middle East that aren't the Middle East. Like you talk to some Middle Eastern people, they consider Egypt the Middle East. So you talk to some individuals, they don't even consider the Middle East as as a connection to Africa. Some people just consider that Asia. You know what I mean? You'll talk to some people who don't even consider it the Middle East because that just reinforces colonial stereotypes. There's a whole conversation we can fucking have about the identity of the Middle East. So for Drake to already kind of be going through this identity crisis, to just hop into these shoes of Habbiti, how are you feeling, my Persian shawty? It's like, what are we doing? Like, you don't think you're making a mockery of anything? Like, and again, right? Like, he goes to, I don't fucking know, some crane. He goes to like Kuwait, and all the Kuwaiti girls are fucking shaking in their boots to meet Drake, right? I bet that emboldens these ideas a little bit. But then he has like this thing of like, I'm an Arabic lover boy, right? I'm so happy and I'm so accepted in the, in the Arabic presence, the Arabic culture. And it's like, nigga, you're mixed. Your dad is from Memphis, and your mother originates from British Columbia. I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind every time this nigga gets on here and he tries some new different. Bro, Kendrick said, and it was such a weird little bar at the time. It wasn't like as connective to the rest of the song that it was a part to, but he said, disrespecting women, disrespecting your mother. He said something along that lines of like, you're switching your identities, disrespecting your mother. And on its surface, you're a good guy, then you're a bad guy. The Iceman is now bad and cold, whatever the fuck he said, right? That's disrespecting your mother. But not going, okay, no, let me be, and again, I can imagine this is probably really fucking corny, nobody wants this, but imagine if he was like, oh, I'm the British Columbian lover boy, I'm the Memphis lover boy, like, oh, easy example I can give. Drake would rather sit next to some Arabic model's grandmother that she has no idea who this nigga is. They probably don't even like get along in terms of like simple like colloquialisms, right? Like simple shit, right? He would rather stand next to that woman than go to Memphis and go stand next to his aunt or his great aunt or maybe his grandmother. And I don't know, because if you just, again, from a simple logic point, he's closer to the States than he is to the Middle East, to the Arabic world. Like, I don't get that. It's very weird. It's weird, and I don't understand it. The music's fine. There's very good production. And I think the inclusion of certain producers on just different songs, I definitely think it livens up the records. Again, there's some good records. Like Classic's pretty good. It might be like the outro or like the second. It's either like the second to last or like the 5th or 7th song on Habbiti. It's not terrible. It's not, it'd be crazy if that was Classic, if I'm referring to Classic as the song. That'd be sick. It's fine. There's a couple of good songs on there, but then, like we get shit like Sexy Red. We get it, and it's sexy. I don't know who that's for. Like, who is that for? That can't be for us. Can't be for the niggas. It can't be for the niggas. Sexy can't rap. Sexy can't rap. I love Sexy. Love her to death. Hey, you got glasses, girl, I got glasses, all right? Hey, both of us got some fucked up vision, all right? I'm your twin in real life. I don't need Sexy on this fucking Drake album, man. I don't, man. Give me a little baby. And it's weird, right? It's weird. I promise, guys, we're gonna get to that future video in due time. And I promise, guys, we're gonna get to the future song in due time. We won't rush to it, but he doesn't have any other like Atlanta acts on here. Just Future. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's important to note. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, shall we? I really kind of just, honestly, I'll be honest with all of you, I just stopped giving a fuck. I very quickly just stopped giving a fuck about Habbiti, turned it off. Don't have to tell all of you. We're going to be discussing Iceman. All right, and this is the second album. Again, just this is how we're going to be breaking it down. I don't believe that Iceman was the first album. If it was supposed to be the first album, it would have been the only album released. Okay, all right. Again, big fairs to him. He dropped it. Didn't see that one coming. But we're gonna get this shit out the way right now. I really like this intro. This was like a very, very solid intro. I think the perspective of Drake really, again, sitting in the permafrost of this nuclear winter and going, damn, this is a little self-inflicted, isn't it? I was telling niggas to drop. I was the one antagonizing niggas. I was a nigga telling niggas I had some big red button, and then eventually, he kind of kicks himself in the back. I forget what it is exactly, but he says something like the biggest fool. He alludes to him not having all the knowledge that he thought he had, and I think that's good. That's good. That's a good line of him being in the moment like, hey, I was a little arrogant. I was a little ignorant. And truth be told, if this released like 1 year after, if this released on the anniversary of Not Like Us, like the first time, like 1 year anniversary, we haven't heard a peep from Drake and this is what he drops, oh, the conversation is completely different. The conversation around Drake is completely different is if after 1 year after Not Like Us, he drops this record. Nothing else, no 100 gigs, no funny little tweets, no pictures of his abs, none of that shit, just raps and consistency. Nigga, if he would have did himself a favor and put this shit on like on IG or YouTube for the free ski, nigga, like now we're talking. Now we're looking at actual artistry right there, right? But I do have to acknowledge this is the only song that I feel like this mature kind of really internalized point of view really shines through. There's no other song that has something like this. So again, big credit to Drake. This is actually a very, very solid way to start your song. And in another timeline, right? Who knows if fucking 3-4 months after Not Like Us, Drake drops this. You know what I'm like? There's a timeline where he takes accountability, he's mature, and he moves on in a timely fashion to where niggas don't gotta kick your back in. There is no lawsuit, right? There is no funny, weird back and forth with Rick Ross like 5 months after the beef is done. There's little shit that he kind of just kept acting on. We can touch on that briefly. He takes a lot of shots at a lot of people on this album. Rightfully so. We can rip the band-aid off right now. DJ Khaled, the world's most famous Palestinian man. Shout out to Fella Son. He takes a really big shot at he takes a really big shot at Khaled, right? And Khaled has never been one to insert himself in beef ever. ever. Except for that time he went off at Tyler the Creator. That was actually a pretty funny piece of history. Pretty piece of rap history right there. Drake, he says the lines, I was on that beef thing and you had went halal on your deed. But you can't even give your people a free Palestine. I guess everything isn't as black and white and red and green. And I will give credit. I have been a very, very big critic of DJ Khaled for not speaking out on Palestine, on the horrors and the genocide going on, at the hands of the apartheid state Israel, but backed by the UK, backed by American, forces. Those are not things I have ever shied away from speaking about or ever shied to, bring light to. My critique is that it comes from Drake. Drake, again, a man who has closer connections to Memphis than any fucking international water he wants to try to dip his toes in. He's never really spoken about Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor. He's never spoken on Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Elijah McCain, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin. He doesn't have any comments on the young case with Carmelo, a young boy who was in active self-defense who got wrongfully put away. He didn't release some massive OVO tweet, completely standing with the family of Cyrus, a young boy that was gunned down by a store owner. No BLM protest. Doesn't even make a post from Martin Luther King's birthday. But you, the biracial nigga from America and Canada, we can talk about the atrocities and the genocide of the indigenous Canadian people. You don't talk about that. But I'm supposed to sit here and believe that with all the breath in your body, you're going to condemn this nigga for saying free Palestine. Nigga, you say free Palestine. Oh, he signed a ceasefire. He signed a two-state solution. Fuck all that. That was in 2023. We're in the year 2026. 2027 is right there. I'm looking at it. Got a nice ass. Real cute sundress you got on. You haven't said anything about that. We're almost in the new year. But again, you're condemning Khaled. Shit like that, y'all gotta watch out for. This nigga hasn't said a word. When's the last time Drake talked about the colonization of the indigenous tribes in the Canadian, territories? Ever? Genuine question. Hey man, it is what it is. Let's discuss some more things. He takes some shots at Rick Ross, Rose. People didn't really like those Rick Ross and Kanye disses towards Drake. I liked them. That's just something I want to put out into the ether. Pretty fair shots, I guess. Again, they went back and forth for so fucking long. That shit, it got to a point where I was like, are these niggas like fucking, honestly, bro, like this shit's insane. They kept going back and forth. Kendrick was all fucking making GNX, and this nigga Rick Ross is still on Twitter responding to Drake. And then Drake will release some fucking string of text messages on his Finsta. Grown ass man with a fucking Finsta replying to the reply. Like, how about you niggas just kiss and make up already? Honestly, bro, I was expecting a Rick Ross feature on this fucking project. The way this fucking life has been treating, like, the way this fucking timeline's been going. I can't. Oh man, I do want to say that revenge Drake when he's looking for revenge is kind of corny, especially after the lawsuit. It's corny. It's corny as fuck. You talking tough guy shit, knowing that not less than 9 months ago you filed for a federal court case against the label that you're also signed to. It's not like you went to Atlantic. It's not like you ran to Republic. It's not like you went to China to go. No, nigga, like the niggas who signed your checks are the niggas you're suing. What are we doing? The fuck are we doing? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to somebody else. I don't. And it's not new. Prince did it. MJ did it. But that was Prince and MJ. Like that was them saying, I want to own this shit. Not, you guys released a mean song about me and then you promoted it. Like, bro, like grown ass man. And I'm supposed to believe your mob ties. If you need something to get done, Buddy and the Cutter gonna do it for $1. Like, shut up, dude. Shut up. I'm sorry. It's not impressive. It's not scary. Literally Kevin and Scott had literally Kevin Nash scary fingers, bro. Literally Scott Hall NWO fingers for this nigga Drake. I'm not impressed. I'm not scared. But who knows? Maybe I haven't gotten pulled up on the 6 god yet. 6. It was a valiant effort. Very valiant effort from this nigga Aubrey. Can't lie. A couple of really decent bars. He really did try. He really did try to kind of wash off that wop damage. But unfortunately, he thinks that it will be clever to now reference Squabble Up with a similar record, and it got clowned. And
Look, listen up, it's about to be smoke. Ain't nothing but some shit I wrote about a rich ass nigga that's deep in the game. They call me Drizzy Drake and I'm keeping the name.
And a lot of the songs this nigga dropped got clowned. And it's only to his detriment, honestly, because he dropped so many songs. So many of them kind of felt like he was just reaching, grasping at straws, looking for anything to hold on to. And then the other half is just niggas trying too hard. Like, nigga, you're mad at Pharrell over beef? About chains? You're mad about Pharrell chains still? Like, I'm so dead ass. If I was this nigga Drake, I wouldn't even whisper the word Pharrell. Cause Pusha, not only with that Clips release, dog walking all over last year. Clips dog walked over last year. The second story of Added On came out. You stopped responding, Drake. Don't talk to me about mob ties when it comes to Pharrell. When the king of the North, Pusha T, the king of white, pulled up on your doorstep, banged on your door, you stayed inside. You stepped outside for maybe a second, he smacked you, you went back in. It's life, it happens. You can't be talking tough to Pharrell now, my nigga. Sorry, it doesn't hit the same, right? Even like these white guilt bars, like, nigga, you're biracial, give me a fucking break, bro. Your mother has white guilt. What are we talking about? Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's some real Peckerwood shit to be biracial and then speak on white guilt in that same bar. This shit, oh man, this shit's fucking nuts. I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan of it at all. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving down, shall we? He thinks that giving turkeys out in the hood is something to condemn. Guys, I wish I was fucking joking. He has a bar against Kendrick about giving out turkeys in the hood and then running back to his mansion. Nigga, didn't you do that for God's plan? Didn't you give out a bunch of money for free? Also, which is a sidebar we're going to be touching on. He only did that because it was a challenge issued by the late XXXTentacion, to give out as much money as you can on camera, and then he would, kind of, I don't know if it was like a concert or something like that. Rest in peace, X, by the way. Kind of sad thinking about it in real time. But the idea was, it was like giving forward, or like the giving hand challenge, right? Drake, he did this maybe like 2 weeks after that video dropped on X's account. The next thing you know, about 2 months later, X gets gunned down by two, unrelated non-citizens of the fucking country. And that's I guess I'll leave that there. I don't know if they were non-citizens. Don't put misinformation out there. Their link to X was almost non-existent. Their link to Broward County like, there was nothing about that shit that should have happened, and it happened again 2 months after a subliminal response from Drake with the giving hand challenge, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Let's keep moving forward. I don't want to keep thinking about my dog like that, man. I don't want to keep thinking about my dog like that. He has a bar. Saying that, like, oh, I died and I came back a couple of times. I can't believe how that shit felt, and I definitely didn't cry. And I was like, why the fuck are you saying this, Drake? Like, that let me know that this nigga genuinely wants to just get out of his album. That let me know he genuinely just wants to get out of his contract, because any actual MC would know, hey, maybe not that bar, maybe not this song, maybe not this album. Let's put that in another one. Let's section that off and put it somewhere else. And I definitely didn't cry in your solo album release to the fucking biggest rap battle of all time. I don't know how that makes sense to anybody, chat. I'm like, how are you a Drake fan and you hear this nigga go, when I definitely didn't cry, and go, ooh, hoo, hoo, he ain't fucking cry, bro. Like, what? I feel like I'm in fucking Bizarro world, bro. This nigga Navidus, Nadavius, whatever the fuck that nigga's name is. He does this thing where he comes back for a song called Ran to Atlanta, right? Now, let's put this idea in a box for a second. If I'm going to run back to Atlanta as Drake, why would I not now get Gunna on one song? Why would I not also get Young Thug on that song? Why would I also not get Lil Baby on said song? Why would I not have this produced by maybe the biggest Atlanta producer that maybe isn't Metro Boomin? Because if the truth that Metro Boomin's mother died, or you hounded that nigga for a beat the week of his mother's death, and then you try to fuck other niggas around him as baby mamas, Drake. Drizzy Drake. Not good at all. It's not good for your public record, my boy. I don't know who they would get to produce this, but Future, Gunna, Baby, Thug, Drake. Maybe that's a little too Cash Money-esque for this nigga to pull off. Maybe Birdman will be on that phone telling him he will wring that little Canadian nigga's neck. That's how you do it. I Ran to Atlanta. That's how you do it. Embrace it. Just embrace it, Drake. Embrace it. Honestly, if you want to do yourself a favor, make a song called Ran to Atlanta with one nigga and maybe just 2 other references to Atlanta, maybe like a zip code or Zone 5 with Gunna. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking stupid, but you have 21 Savage on here. Fine, cool. You have Future on here. 2 Atlanta niggas. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. But then the song isn't even that good. So I'm like, okay, well, fuck. You kind of just wasted your comeback Future verse for this. And then Future, again, that nigga's almost 40, talking about fucking models and doing perks. Like, I'm not really that impressed by that. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'm missing something, bro. Maybe I'm actually missing something. I don't really feel like I am, though, chat. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't really feel like I'm missing much of fucking anything. Let's also try to get to this as quickly as we can before, I discuss everything that I feel about Maid of Honor. It definitely wasn't the album I wanted. That being Iceman. It wasn't the album I wanted. It wasn't. I was expecting maybe a good 12 tracks, a lot more rapping, a lot more smash mouth kind of pace. That's not what we got. Drake, the best example I can give. He isn't playing like Ant-Man. He's playing like SGA. And I think that's the best example I can give without confusing any of you niggas. He's not playing like Chris Bosh. He's playing like D-Wade, but like D-Wade on the Cavs. Y'all tracking? Y'all tracking what I'm saying? Okay, all right. Yeah, but like due to some of these weird bars, the bloated album, then I gotta think about like where these bars really land, and Drake's just like the canonical entity, like the canonical being, right, that Drake has created, over the course of these albums and the interviews and the beefs and et cetera, the mixtapes, right? Cash Money, Young Money, Birdman, fucking Baby Blue, it's whatever, right? Baby Blue, I don't know what the fuck that is. Baby Blue, whatever. I gotta cut that out. Drake hasn't really grown that much over the past couple of years, over the decade or so. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm hearing him talk about the exact same shit he was talking about, if you're reading this is too late, that he's talking about now. He's in Turks with a bad bitch. She's angry because she's bad, and she has emotional regulation issues, but so does Drake. Hey, his therapist is begging for him to take some consideration to the words she's saying, right? I like to headcanon that maybe this is about 3 weeks after Kendrick knocked the teeth out of this nigga's mouth, or maybe after the Super Bowl. I don't know when it happened, but during this time of deep internalized, doubt, I'm about to say a deep depression. I keep making myself laugh. I gotta be fucking serious. Drake found himself in a place, right, where the walls of Lucy were all around him, and this therapist is actually trying to give this nigga a piece of advice. And he's just like, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so cute. It's like, nigga, if you don't grow up. Nigga, 40 just told you to grow up 16 bars ago. Use that advice. Use that advice for these bars now. Oh, man. I was just a little disappointed. That's all. I guess you could say that I was a little disappointed with the depth of this album, because it should have been more. And it shouldn't have felt like he was just trying to fill space. And the idea that you were even trying to like halfway fill space in this nuclear hellscape we're sitting in, questionable. It's questionable, Aubrey. I'll say that much. Maid of Honor is not it. Do not listen to Maid of Honor. If you can do yourself a favor, it is not a good album. It is not going to benefit you in any way or manner. There's like, I don't think there's a party feature on there. There's some singing feature on there that isn't terrible. It might just be a sample. It might just be a sample underwater. I don't know what the fuck it is. A lot of samples, by the way, which is like, that formula has ran its course, brother, man. That formula ran its course during Certified Lover Boy. And again, that shit Wayne would tell him. Wayne would tell him, hey, my nigga, why don't we get like some 808s in there? Like, we're doing, it's too much. It's a lot of this shit. It's very whiny, very like, I'm complaining to complain. My issues don't really have any kind of source. They're just happening to happen, and it's everyone's fault, not mine. Just like, nigga, like, I'm not moved. I am not moved by Maid of Honor. I was not moved by a majority of Habbiti. And that's why I think I gravitate more towards Iceman, because it's the advice I gave this nigga. Hey, just drop some songs on SoundCloud and rap. Let niggas know you're not so closed off. Spit some fucking intricate lyrics about how your teeth got knocked out of your mouth. Hey, no one likes to admit it happened. It happens to more niggas than they like to admit to. You know what I mean? Like, it's shit like that we have to just start dealing with. Drake, you lost. Now, what's the bounce back after this loss? Shebang? One cheek now, y'all. 2 claps this time. Like a Sexy Red feature? Also, why the fuck is your mother on an album called Maid of Honor, and the first song is like some shit called like Bro, I'm gonna double check this shit. The first title, the first song of Maid of Honor is legit like Pop My Cherry or some weird shit like that. I could be mistaken. Let me double check right now. Maid of Hoe Phase. Your mother is on the fucking front of this album, and the first song is Hoe Phase. This nigga's disgusting. No, I seen that shit and I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm cool as ice on this fucking album, bro. I don't even want to look at it. It disgusts me. This nigga Pusha T makes bars about your mother always coming in last place and how she's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Pusha T commented on your mother always being the bridesmaid and not the bride. And then you put her on the cover of an album called Maid of Honor. The first song's called Hoe Phase. And there's at least 2 Sexy Red features on this album with your mother on it. Shit blew me. Hey, it blew me. I never looked back. Again, if you want to do this shit by the numbers, 3 albums, 780 in total. We're looking at about 250 per pop. It's not great for Iceman. It's not really great Drake numbers, period. And it's a very weird thing that happened. It's a very weird situation, you know, like we are in the fallout of this Iceman project right now. Like this is the Iceman fallout, right? We're dealing with Drake, you know, being on the back foot to all types of criticism, not only for beat choices, but thematic choices, lyrics, and all types of other shit, right? He hasn't said a word about that. We're looking at Jayz. Hove, the biggest, went up there and responded to that nigga directly. I'm on a different chart, champ. The price is up. You gotta look up to me again. I butchered that entire phrase, but Jay is now in the limelight, letting niggas know, hey, that mob tie shit you doing is cute. Keep it cute. It's cute. Keep it that way. And make sure it doesn't get anything else than cute, because you don't want it to get anything more than cute. And I think that in and of itself, the response to this album, the fucking mountain of criticism, Jay-Z stepping out of his domain to tell niggas shit is not as sweet as you think it is, Iceman. I like to think maybe Drake did his job. I mean, he's being talked about again, and he's in the limelight again. People are looking for him again. These aren't negatives for Drake, obviously, but there's no fucking way he thinks that like videos of like that nigga clowning shebang is good, right? There's no way he thinks of niggas asking, well, how come you never spoke up for Trayvon Martin or Sandra Bland? You was in America. You was in Texas. Houston, Texas, LA. That's what you was doing, right? Why don't you speak up for anything when we was talking about the BLM riots? BLM protest. Again, fair, reasonable questions that I think this nigga Drake should answer. He should. And all in all, I think the best thing Drake can do is show that he's not as closed off as everyone thinks he is, right? Go to some of the smaller markets, right? Go to Baton Rouge, you know, speak out against the social issues, right? Post the fucking Palestine, the Sudanese, the Yemen flag, the you know, the Iranian flag on your IG. Show that all this criticism you're levying against other niggas of being performative, not giving a fuck about their own culture, that's not true. You know, well, at least for you, at least. I wouldn't be true for you. You know, post about the Canadian history of the indigenous people that were slaughtered and genocided and displaced. These are things that directly correlate to you, a biracial nigga with a father from Memphis and a mother from Canada. I don't want to hear Habbiti. I don't want to hear Central C and the Waste Tings. I don't want to hear that. I just don't. But I mean, that's me. That's my opinion. That's how I feel about things. That was everything that I felt on Iceman. Again, standout tracks, easy. Gonna be Iceman intro, classic. And hey, you know, for shits and giggles, I'll throw in a shebang in there, because you know it went pretty mega viral for all the wrong reasons. It's pretty funny, pretty good. That was everything that your boy CAPY had for Iceman, the Nuclear Winter. Right, this took a pretty long time to come out, but I think it was worth it. Huh? Let's chat. I think it was pretty worth it. I hope all of you have a great one. However you catch us, whenever you catch us, and as we always say, right, I hope you all stay tuned, stay safe, stay beautiful. Peace.